गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारी यमुनातीरा वनचारी जया राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद गदाधर Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev. Jai Gauradevo, Haribo, Haribo, Jai Gaura Haribo. पाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की हो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, द्वारकापुरी धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की, गंगामय यमुनामय की, भक्तदेव तुलसी देवी की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः. हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Welcome all of you. Very soon Janmashtami is approaching, so I thought I will I take this section, 10th canto, 2nd chapter, text number 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Pralambapaka Chanura Trinavarta Mahashanaihi Mushtikarishta Dvivida Putana Keshidhan Dhenukaihi Annaishchasura Bhupalair Bhana Bhaumadi Vidyutaha Yadunam Kadanam Chakre Bali Magada Samshrayaha. You read the translation.
Goswami said, under the protection of Magadharaj, Jarasandh, the powerful Kamsa began persecuting the kings of the Yadu dynasty. In this, he had the cooperation of demons like Pralamba, Baka, Chanura, Trinavat, Aghasur, Mushtika, Arista, Dvivida, Putana, Keshi, Dhenuka, Banasur, Narkasur, and many other demoniac kings on the surface of the earth.
Yeah.
But
So as you all know, all the demigods taking Mother Earth in the form of a cow, they approached Lord Brahma and they approached Lord Vishnu in the milk ocean and prayed to him to deliver the earth or rid the earth of the demons. So in the Kunti Maharani's prayers, Kunti Maharani is giving an example. Just like in a ship, sometimes the load of people increases, then the ship can sink. Similarly, the bhubharam, it is said, the bhubhar, the burden of the earth increases when there are sinful people, or people who break the laws of God. And the ship sinks. So Bhudevi doesn't feel any burden with big mountains like Meru Parvat or like vast oceans. That doesn't pose any burden for her. But if there is one person who is a liar, who is a sinner, who is anti-Vishnu, so she cannot tolerate it. It's like a thorn for her. So, but now here is a demon Kamsa who has appeared here. And under the protection of Magadharaj means Jarasandha gave his 2 daughters to him in marriage, Asti and Prapti. So, which means Kamsa and Jarasandha were gelling very well together because both like birds of the same feather flock together, as we say. And Jarasandha was also anti-Krishna. He fought with Krishna 17 times and he lost the battle. So Kamsa made allies with him and married his 2 daughters. And also all these demons list which is given here, which you read just now, these are all demons who were defeated by Kamsa in battle, or they were of almost like equal power sometimes. Kamsa, and the fight went on for a long time and they decided, let us stop fight and let us make allies with each other. Let us work cooperatively. Cooperatively means cooperatively do trouble to the world. And then he would invite them to his court and offer them a seat of honor. So on, just like you see king, when he sits on either side, there are seats where he makes his ministers sit. And he gives them projects and tasks which they accomplish. But these demons are supposed to accomplish the task of destroying Brahminical culture. Just like the devotees of God, they, like Prabhupada made the GBC, the goal of GBC is to propagate Brahminical culture, flourish the Brahminical culture all over the globe, establish temples, establish deities, make more and more devotees, and spread the pure sound vibration of the holy name, and also spread the holy message that Lord wants to give to his own children, jivas, reach it out. So we should become an instrument of pure devotees in propagating the holy name and the holy fame and the holy culture of the Brahminical culture far and wide, as much as we can according to our capacity. Bhagavatam, it is said, just like every bird can fly to different heights, a sparrow can fly some height, crow can fly little more height, eagle can fly very high. Similarly, different devotees are allotted according to Lord's arrangement with different capacities to practice and propagate Krishna consciousness. And one should do one's best in doing that. And opposite of that is to become a henchman of evil persons like Kamsa and be proud of occupying their uh, palace and getting a seat of honor there in, uh, in propagating atheism. And mm, recently I heard there were some group of the atheists formed a team of some 10,000 people or something like that, and uh, they made some goal that within the coming 3 decades or 4 decades or whatever period of time, we will propagate atheism. So they took all the Christian literature and they finding out all the loopholes in religious practices and the religious instructions and injunctions, just like what this PK or this OMG they were doing. So these people had a similar type of mission, and they made many videos, they made many literatures. They they made teams of people who will go to different places and propagate. So you can consider them as Kamsa's henchmen. Correct? No? Kamsa represents atheism. Narada represents devotional service. Narada is so smart, he can even come to Kamsa's palace also. Can you imagine? He can come to Kamsa's palace, make friendship with Kamsa and pull his leg. You can see that. Actually, Narada goes to Krishna also, he comes to Kamsa also. So Prabhupada was like that. Prabhupada was in one leg in Vrindavan, one leg in New York. You can see that. He can be a very wonderful acharya doing bhajan in Vrindavan. Another leg he'll keep in Manhattan, New York, and destroy the atheistic culture and propagate Krishna consciousness. So devotees who are followers of Prabhupada should learn that. Also, following the footsteps, be intelligent and make sure that we become instruments in the hands of pure devotees. And one should not headlong fall prey to sinful activities and become afflicted or contaminated by atheistic association. If we do, then how are we different from this list of asuras? Isn't it? Who are joining the party of, you want to join Kamsa's party or Narada's party? That is your choice. Ultimately. So we may say, I want to join Narada's party, but we may wear tilak and kantimala and dhoti kurta, everything. But so many times I get mails from boys that, oh, I did this blunder, I did that blunder, I went in this direction. That means we are not serious about going back to Godhead, becoming instrument in Krishna's hands. Because when we are in the material world, there is always a mixture of demoniac tendencies and divine tendencies. Therefore, Krishna gave the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, divine and demoniac. But one should always be able to clearly separate the two. Pani ka pani, doodh ka doodh. One should know doodh ka doodh means it is, what is pure lifestyle. And one should live by that. And one should not allow the evil propensities to sneak into one's heart. That is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave this book, Krishna Samhita. In that book, he gives this 21 demons. And all these fellows, Agasur, Bakasur, Keshi, Putana, all these demons are explained there. So in one of the COVID times, I took those 21 demons and prepared one PPT on each of them and gave. And what's your good name? I think you gave me you helped me with those, this thing, is it? Getting those pictures. You helped me? There's one devotee, what is his name? He looks similar to him in Kunjaberi temple. I don't remember his name. Swapnil, yeah, there was Swapnil. You know Swapnil? So he got all this Putana, the pictures from the little Krishna. So if you move it little fast, it'll you can see the movement. You can see how Krishna killed these demons, and most importantly, what each of those demons represents. That's the most important. So when you get time, you can download those notes from those video description. You will get And you can see each of those demons, whom they represent and how they should be destroyed in our heart. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that our heart is also Vrindavan. But in this Vrindavan, who should reside? The divine couple, Radha and Krishna, should reside. And not only Radha and Krishna, all the devotees should reside, like Sridhama, Sudama, Madhumangal, all the dear devotees of Krishna and the dear associates of Radharani. They should reside. And also, residing in our heart, they should actually perform the pastimes. And we should make a facility for them to joyfully reside in our heart. But at the same time, Vrindavan is also a place where all the demons come also. Correct now? So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. In our heart, which is, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mora Mana Vrindavan. He says, my mind is Vrindavan. So my mind is Vrindavan, but Vrindavan also is infested by these demons, beginning with the Putana, and then Aghasur, Bakasur, Shakatasur, and Trinavarta, and Keshi, and all these demons come. So each of these demons, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that they represent one anartha in our heart also. And very finely he explains, very deeply. For example, he explains the Vatsasura. He says, why am I saying Vatsasura? Vatsasura is a juvenile delinquency, we call it, which means the teenage, you have one problem. Between 13 to 19. What is the problem? Vatsasura is like a calf. A calf is very playful. Correct, no? It appears very innocent. It's very playful. Therefore, that demon assumed the form of a calf so that Krishna will think he's a very sweet calf. But then when Krishna comes to play with the calf will attack and kill him. That was his plan. Yet plan. And then, of course, Krishna, as soon as he saw that calf, he could understand. This is not a real calf, it's a demoniac calf. He could understand. But now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, what does this calf represent? He says, in the teenage, there is a tendency to be naughty, curious for dangerous things. There is a tendency to develop a adventurous disposition, that I want to figure out what this matter is, and as if a person is going to conquer the material world and enjoy forever. That kind of tendency comes. I am great, I am smart, I am intelligent, I'll figure out, I'll be happy. The oldies don't know anything. And they think they are, they keep giving upadesh, advice, but I know how to be happy in this world. Every guy thinks like that, and eventually he learns lessons. So the most dangerous tendency in the teenage is to have a desire to find out what is woman. So in the course of finding out, you will be left with nothing. You will be left with only flesh and bone and stool and bile and sputum and all these dirty things in a woman's body. There is nothing else you will find. But those who became curious, they lost the opportunity to remain pure. They lost the opportunity to elevate themselves to Krishna consciousness. So, according to Krishna, the formula is, if you can close your eyes to Maya, then you will see beautiful pastimes of Krishna in your heart. But if you open your eyes to Maya, you'll be burned by the fire of Munja forest. The Munja forest fire, which came, that time Krishna told all the coward boys to close. When they closed their eyes, they saw beautiful, colorful pastimes of Krishna. Krishna playing in the forest of Raja. And in the meantime, Krishna swallowed the fire. So that fire represents samsara davana. That means if you close your eyes to Maya, then you will get to see Krishna. And the forest fire of samsara davanala will be extinguished. And then when you open the eyes, you will be in Goloka with Krishna. But if you refuse to close your eyes to Maya, you develop this Vatsasura tendency to have a desire to figure out what Maya is. Despite we are hearing preachings from the scriptures, we are hearing preaching from devotees, we are put in a devotional ambience, still we secretly harbor a desire to figure out what is Maya and go in the direction of Maya. That means we are opening our eyes to Maya. And by opening eyes to Maya, what will you see in the Munja forest? What did they all see? Forest fire. Yeah. Because you have not trusted Krishna, then Krishna will not swallow the forest fire. Because of our not trusting him. Then what will happen? And the fire is coming from all four sides. What will it do? Huh? We will be devoured. And we will be burned by the forest fire. And that is happening to 99.99% of the world population. Because they don't trust Krishna and they don't close their eyes to Maya. They open their eyes to Maya, so they get roasted by Maya. Hmm. Because the moth is opening eyes or closing eyes to fire. Opening eyes gets roasted in the fire. So 99% of the population gets roasted in the fire of Maya, foolishly. But if we agree to follow Guru's instruction, yes, I will close my eyes to Maya and open my eyes to Krishna's lotus feet and Krishna's pastimes. And those people are given the realization, the subtler and subtler realization will dawn in the hearts of such devotees. And by the dint of their purity, chastity, commitment, surrender, dedication, faith, because of that, they blossom in spiritual life and they will come to a stage where, Krishna will be dancing in their hearts. Correct? No? So our heart is supposed to be a place for Krishna. We have to keep on cleaning it, purifying it by chanting the holy name. And Krishna will come and reside. But, so there are two missions. One is Kamsa's mission, one is Narada's mission. So we want to join Narada's mission. We don't want to join Kamsa's mission. Kamsa, and we have clearly understood what is Kamsa's mission. See, his associates. We don't want to join his associates. In the modern times, you can put on in this list of category, you can put Darwin. Prabhupada says. Darwin is one false Mahajan. Then there is you can put Dawkins. You can put this. Stephen Hawking. Put all these atheistic fellows along with Chandra Mushtik, everybody, you can add them also. So, and all the colleges and schools and universities where Krishna consciousness is prohibited, and they are teaching how to do economic development, or how to do politics, and how to be atheistic, how eat, drink, and be merry. I heard that there is one college, I don't want to name the college, and a very famous college. They have got swimming pool, and they have got playground, they have got table tennis court, they have got very posh rooms and hostels and laboratory and facility. It's a huge campus, it's a university in itself. And the teachers all promote sense gratification. They tell the students, just eat, drink, and be merry. That's the goal of life, don't bother. And in one of the years, 14 people committed suicide. And 14 people in 1 year, can you imagine? And that owner of that college is having a big political contact. And he has told the politicians that if any newspaper publishes this, we will stop that newspaper and finish the owners also. Owners of the newspaper. So no newspaper has the guts to publish this. The 14 suicides in 1 year. So on the other hand, outside people are thinking, they are doing so much sense education, they are enjoying life. And here this Krishna conscious people are saying, that you should chant the holy name. Instead of chanting, we can enjoy like them. Because I know one student who is studying in their college, he told me, all the students know, but all the students have been told by teachers, nobody should talk about this suicides outside. Because then people will understand sense education is poison. So you should not make sure that and similarly, when this PETA, PETA, no? Protection of protection and ethical treatment of animals. When that organization came, one lady went to slaughterhouses and she clicked the videos she took. Actually, she said that I want to see this thing, and she was taken around and everything. And they thought she is making nice video she will make and float about us, and that will help us, propagate their thinking. But she especially took how the animals are tortured and killed and everything. And then when she made a short video, it went viral. And then they were searching for her to kill her. Her life was under threat. Later on, they told all the people, if anybody propagates this video, we'll finish you. Because then their sales will be affected, correct, no? Yeah. So this is the way the sinful people are. So this meat industry want to do nonsense, but they don't want people in the world to know what nonsense they are doing. Because the children, when they see the animal being killed, they cry when they see this video. Later on, they made a brief video of this in 10 points, if you have seen that. Cut, why you should not eat meat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of you have seen that? only 10 slides only. 10 things. If you see those 10 things, any meditator will immediately stop meditating. They made that. Now that organization itself went into threat of existence. You understand? No? Because they are trying to stop the violence to the poor creatures. That very organization is under threat. And they have to hide. Because this demoniac forces. So these two forces are always there. The demoniac force and divine force. The divine force is always, pinned down by demoniac forces and tortured by the demoniac forces because they are propagating the divine vibration. Just like Prahlad was troubled by Hiranyakashipu. You will see that. In the same manner, you will find that all through the scriptures, the Pandavas were tortured by Kauravas. I can see like that. Sita was tortured by Ravana. You will throughout the scripture you find examples of divine and demoniac forces. The divine forces will be troubled by demoniac forces. Although the divine people on the divine side are always well-wishers of all living entities. So we even though the divine followers may be in minority, we should join that group because that is the group Viralachara Katipaye, Brahma Samhita says. Only those few people who faithfully adhere to the Lord will go back home, back to Godhead. The last line of Brahma Samhita, it says that. And some foolish boys think that I don't want to be cornered in this world, I want to flow with the wind. So then I will also go with other boys, 99% of the population, they say. That means we are joining which side? Demoniac side. Of course, that choice is yours. You may be comfortable that you are not cornered by the people or troubled by people, you are flowing with them. You flow with the wind, then you will flow to the hell along with them. Because that majority group is going towards hell, hellish life, you will see that. But those who are devotees of God, they are chaste and faithful to the instructions of God. So, in this way, there are false Mahajans, there are true Mahajans. So these are all long list of ruffians and rogues and scoundrels, all the dangerous demons. And Kamsa gave them a seat of honor in his palace for what you call in the modern times as underworld people. That kind of people, these fellows. So Lord comes, Yada hi dharmas, verse says, Lord comes in this world to do these three activities: destroy the demons, protect the devotees, and establish these principles. Yeah. See, the Lord's purpose in maintaining this material world is to give everyone a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. But the kings and political leaders, unfortunately, try to hinder the purpose of the Lord. And therefore, the Lord appears either personally or with his plenary portions to set things right. Whenever there's a disorder, then the Lord comes. Garbham sancharya rohinyam devakya yogamayaya tasya kukshim gata krishno Dvitiyo vibudai sutaha. Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki after transferring Baladev to the womb of Rohini by the power of Yogamaya. Yadubihi sa vyarudyata. The kings of the Yadu dynasty were all devotees. But there were many powerful demons such as Shalva who began to persecute them. At that time, Jarasandha, who was Kamsa's father-in-law, was extremely powerful. And therefore, Kamsa took advantage of his protection and the help of the demons in persecuting the kings of Yadu dynasty. The demons naturally appeared more powerful than demigods. But ultimately, because of help received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demons were defeated and demigods triumphant. For example, when you look at Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu, from anybody's point of view, looks powerful. But who was destroyed? Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad one, correct? No? From the point of material, practical point of view, look at the Vanaras who are throwing the boulders and the trees in the Ramayana battle. And look at Ravana, they have very terrible weapons. And they also have Mayavi weapons also. They can disappear in the sky. And from there they can drop weapons. Correct, no? So, when you look at both, who appears to be more technologically competent? Ravana. But who was destroyed? You will see that. Although the Vanaras appeared very like weaklings, throwing trees and boulders, they appear very simple, but they won the battle. You will see Ravana was destroyed. Similarly, Prahlad appears like a tender child, a 5-year-old boy. And Hiranyakashipu is king of all the 3 worlds, Trilokadipati. And he had all power, even controlling all demigods also. And he was destroyed, you would see. Similarly, Pandavas, you see, they're fatherless children. They're driven to the jungle. They are made an assassination attempt in House of Lac and all that. They appear to be pretty weak, isn't it? And Kauravas are 100. And they have the support of the ruling party also. It's their own father. So they appear very strong externally. But at the end of the day, you find they were destroyed. And Pandavas were placed in the throne. So, in the same manner, Prabhupada says, the devotees of God, when they are living in this world, they may appear to be smaller in number, or they may appear to be weaker from the point of view of monetarily weak sometimes. Like Prabhupada, when he went to America, he had no money and no manpower, correct, no? He appeared like an old man also. He's 70-year-old man, no money, no manpower. Does it appear like he's going to conquer the world? It appeared that, poor man, even Sumati Morarji told, Swamiji, you are going at this age, you may die in America, better you die in Vrindavan. Why do you waste your life there? Those guys won't listen to you. But Prabhupada dismissed her speech like a father dismissing daughter's speech. It is said. And then Prabhupada was like fully confident. Then you see how Prabhupada emerged successful by Krishna's grace and by empowerment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did miraculous things. So, therefore, this is how things work. You will see. This is Lord's playful pastime. He makes the demons appear very powerful in the beginning. But all the demoniac civilization will be made into a null and void over a period of time. All these things. And then that's the purpose is, where is the powerful Roman Empire? Where is the powerful British Empire? Where is Napoleon Bonaparte? Where is Alexander the Great? Where is Hitler? These guys came and made big halla gulla and went away. Nobody is on the scene. So, therefore, one should not be allured by the glitter and glamour of the modern day advancement of science, technology, and medicine. Although it is very alluring and very, people may think, oh, I think I should join that side. And that's what big brahmanas also sending their children for big education and earning a big degree. And they want to receive a position and a position of respect and a position of success in the material circle or not. Tell me. Correct? Why everybody is running to engineering, medicine and chartered accountancy and things like that? Why everybody is running abroad? Why everybody wants to have a very high paying IT job? Why everybody wants to shine in the material world, be very respectable in the eyes of the masses? Because that is because the Ravana side is always attractive from the material point of view. Hiranyakashipu side, Ravana's side is materially very glitter and glamour is very attractive. And the devotion side may appear, like a band of devotees on the Lord's side may appear very insignificant from external material point of view. But the strength of the devotees is they possess the Lord. Look at Arjuna's choice and Duryodhana's choice. Duryodhana has 10,000 Narayani Sena, and Arjuna has only one Krishna, and that too not weapon lifting Krishna. Krishna said, I won't lift any weapons also. Whose side appears weak? Arjuna's side appears weak, correct? No? But ultimately you find Arjuna emerged successful, correct? No? And Duryodhana and company, the whole Sena was finished. You will see that, including lastly Duryodhana's thighs were broken and he also got finished. Everything was wiped out finally. So, one lesson we learned from all this, the demoniac civilization will be very alluring with all this glitter and glamour. It will appear as if they are going to exist here forever. It will appear as if they have taken over all the worlds. It will appear like that. But ultimately they will be destroyed. They will be doomed, they will be destroyed. On the other hand, the devotees of God who are faithful practitioners may appear to be in small number and they may be appear to be struggling. They may be, but you will find that because they have God on their side, at the end of the day, you will see them, they will be transported back to Vaikuntha. Because they have lived a faithful life. They have lived a chaste life, faithful life. They have put faith in the instructions of the Lord. That is their speciality. So, Okay. The kings gathered together because of the protection of this Jarasandha. Te pidita nivivishuho Kuru panchala kekayan Shalvan vidarbhan nishadhan Videhan koshalan api. Persecuted by the demoniac kings, the Yadavas left their own kingdom and entered various others, like those of the Kurus, Panchalas, Kekayas, Shalvas, Vidarbhas, Nishadas, Videhas, Koshalas, like this. So they all went to different kingdoms. Actually, you will see in India also you will find in the Kashmir, many Kashmiri Pandits, Brahmanas, because when the invaders came into India, they troubled them. They told them, either run for your life out of this place or convert to our religion. That kind of thing they were doing. So those who were little reasonably rich Panditas, they left to other places out of fear of life. That's why you find some Kashmiri Pandits in Maharashtra also, South India also, everywhere you find them. They left and went. But the poor ones thought, where will we go? Our only property is the land. If you leave this place and go, we have nowhere to go and we don't have a job also. How will we get our daily bread? So they remained there. But then the invaders came and challenged it. See, you have to convert to our religion, otherwise we will trouble you. So some of them try to defend themselves, making some arrangement for their defense, but then they were overpowered over a period of time. Some killing happened, some rape happened, and things like that. You hear such kind of news. So therefore, whenever there's an atrocious force coming in any particular place, one of the things that people do is to flee from that place. Correct, no? Because once you know it's a place infested with danger, then you go to other places. Just like you find Gokul Mahavan, Nanda Baba and all the coward community was living. But when they saw that Putana, Agasur, Bakasur, everybody is coming, what they did? They left that place and went to Vrindavan. The same manner it is mentioned that when Yadus were tormented by demoniac kings, then they were fleeing to other places. Yeah. Eketam anurundhana Nyatayah paryupasate Hateshu Shatshu Baleshu Devakya Anugrasenina Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhama Yam Anantam Prachakshate Garbho Babhuva Devakya Harshashoka Vivardhanaha. Some of their relatives, however, began to follow Kamsa's principles and act in his service. So some people decided, some Yadus, that, we can't flee here and there. We will stay there. And whatever order Kamsa gives, we will follow. For example, those Sikhs in India, Sikh people, the fifth guru was executed. I think Arjan Dev, I think. He was executed by Jahangir in 1603, I think. And then ninth guru, what was his name? Tej Bahadur, yeah. Tej Bahadur, he was executed by Aurangzeb, I think. Aurangzeb, and then the 10th guru could not be executed because he collected arms forces, everything. Very, very powerful. And Aurangzeb arranged for some 2 ministers to secretly kill him when he was sleeping. Guru Gobind Singh. Of course, he was such an alert Kshatriya. When they went to kill him when he was sleeping, he jumped up from his bed and finished both of them also. But then his sons, I think 3 sons, the 4 sons, 2 elder sons were killed. Other two were like Kshatriyas, So they were asked, "Are you are tender kids? Better you convert to our religion. Other if you don't convert, then we will kill you." They said, "We would rather give up our life rather than convert. We will follow in the footsteps of our great gurus." Like that they said. So if you study the history carefully, why these people were executed and everything? Because the invaders were very worried that these people are collecting armed forces, like, these Sikh gurus used to travel with 5,000, 8,000 people. And those people were not just like yatriks. They were actually people who could carry weapons. And these gurus themselves, some of them traveled in horses and like warriors. Even now they keep this thing. You will see that. What do you call it? That one knife kind of one sword type of thing they keep. So they so the invaders thought that these fellows have the power to even drive us out. Correct, no? They may throw us out of the country. Our survival is in threat. So that is why they said either convert or you will be killed or whatever. Or you have to pay a very heavy tax. Like that, different things they did like that. On the other hand, there were some others. Of course, these executed gurus, they are actually called as martyrs. You know what is the meaning of martyr? Martyr means for the sake of truth, they didn't fear to lay down their life. That's the meaning of that. Just like a soldier in army, they were considered like that. So, on the other hand, you see Amar and Santosh from Karnataka when they went to Bengal, they were Brahmana, Saraswat Brahman people. When they were called by the king, Nawab Hussain Shah, they took another route. They took. What is the route they took? They understood that now the demoniac forces are in power. And now we are not strong enough to attack the demoniac forces and go against it altogether, because then you have to lose your life, you lose your head. Correct? No? So they said, yes, we will assist you. We will stay in your court and work like finance minister or home minister. Some two posts they took up, and they were then they were given the seat of honor, esteemed honor, like you will be Dabir Kas and Sakaraman. Like in those days, if Mughal kings give them, that cap and give them honor in the court, that is considered a highly respectable thing in the entire Mughal community. So they accepted that. So now why they accepted that? That is also another great secret, because they thought that we have some talent which the government wants. At the moment, the ruling government may be demoniac, and we are living. So therefore, they agreed to cooperate with the government's rulings, and they did that kind of work. But they had the freedom to make the Gupta Vrindavan behind their palace, and their consciousness was with Krishna, and their external bodily skills and talents and things they gave it for. Gave it for that ruling party. And that is what our IT engineers should do. Because, you give your body, to the company, work, because parents want you to earn some money. You have to work and fulfill duties. But a heart you should give to Krishna. That's what they did. And that is precisely what Chaitanya taught them. Like if a lady is forcibly married by her parents to a husband whom she doesn't like, he may be a meat eater, drunkard and everything, but she doesn't like him. She wanted to marry a righteous man whom the parents didn't allow. Her heart is with that righteous man, but she is living with the demoniac man. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya said, your heart is with Satvatampati. Who is it? Krishna. So you give your heart to Krishna, but externally you do your duties so nicely that nobody can suspect you. So Sanatan and Rup and Sanatan did their external duties perfectly. Nawab Hussain Shah loved them so dearly. He considered them like his own brother. He was very affectionate to them. So they could connect with him in such a friendly way. At the same time, they didn't give their heart to him. They gave their heart to Krishna. They were so Krishna conscious. Otherwise, how he is writing all this, Brihat Toshini, Tika, Sanatana Goswami has written, isn't it? For the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Rup Sanatan, they became Rup Sanatan later on. At a certain time, they left the palatial post and everything, and they went to Vrindavan and joined hands with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, same thing our GS devotees should do. You should do your external work, like manage your business externally, meditate on Krishna internally. Bahare Vyavahar, Antare Nishta. This is what Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath Das also. When you are in the material world, because we are a combination of soul and body, so we can't immediately run away quickly. Some of you may be frustrated. Some of the GS devotees get frustrated that, I don't like to work in the outside world. And I hate this type of job and money making and everything. But you can't run away from it for a certain period of time. And then at the same time, we should know for sure that you should not get stuck in it also. You should get out of it and go and join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Correct? No, just like Rup Sanatan joined subsequently. Now, in that category, who comes? Akrura, for example. Akrura decided to stay and not run away. So because he stayed, he was given the post of a minister. So he is minister in whose court? Kamsa's court. But his heart is with whom? That is the same formula. What Rup Sanatan did, he followed the same thing. Akrura also. So some people were fleeing out of that place to different places out of fear of Kamsa and atrocities of Kamsa. Whereas others were staying there because they knew that Kamsa is such an atrocious fellow, Krishna will come to kill him. And we want to watch that pastime. So we will get to see Krishna's pastime. Therefore they stayed, he says. Just like, for example, some people say, don't go to America. Don't go to, it's a horrible place. It's a place of Maya. Just stay in Vrindavan and go back to Godhead. That's what Prabhupada's God brothers told him like that. Out of fear of America, they stayed in Vrindavan. But some personalities like Prabhupada, they went to America to see the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda happening in America by propagating Krishna consciousness, how the holy name will spread as per their prophecy. So that means in this world, you cannot say this is right, that is wrong. Both are right. Somebody is staying in Vrindavan and chanting the holy name and going back to Godhead. That's one category of people. There is another, like Prabhupada, you may stay in America. His Holiness Bhattita Swami said, I will lay my body in Gita Nagari to show the world that you can go back to Godhead, not necessarily by going to Vrindavan. Whatever is your preaching place, that is Vrindavan. And Lord is present there. Yatra gayanti madbhakta, tatra drishyami narada. Like that he said. So, that is the point. See, some of the chief devotees such as Akrura stayed with Kamsa to satisfy him. This they did for various purposes. They all expected Supreme Lord to appear as eighth child as soon as Devakis' other children were killed by Kamsa, and they were eagerly awaiting his appearance. By remaining in Kamsa's association, they would be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead take birth and display his childhood pastimes. And Akrura would later go to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balram to Mathura. That was Akrura's plan. Eventually, if I stay in Kamsa's palace, eventually I'll get to see Krishna Balram come and do their pastimes by killing Kamsa and then entering Mathura and doing various pastimes. The word paripasta is significant because it indicates that some devotees want to stay near Kamsa in order to see all these pastimes of the Lord. And then comes a very important point here. Please read this one, the 6 children.
The 6 children killed by Kamsa had formerly been sons of Marichi, but because of having been cursed by a Brahmana, they were obliged to take birth as grandsons of Hiranyakashipu. Kams had taken birth as Kalanemi.
See this detail that's given here. The 6 children of Devaki who were killed by Kamsa, who were they? They were former sons of Marichi. So, Marichi's 6 sons, they were cursed by a Brahmana for a reason, and then they were obliged to take birth as grandsons of Hiranyakashipu. This is a detail which you might not have probably heard. So, I have heard that Marichi's sons laughed at Brahma when Brahma was momentarily attracted to Tilotama, one lady whom she created. To his own creation, he became attracted. Other devatas were sober, they were calm, but Marichi's sons laughed. So then they were cursed to become sons of. First time they were obliged to take birth as the grandsons of Hiranyakashipu. And then Kamsa had taken birth as Kalanemi. And now he was obliged to kill his own sons. He says, actually, there's some detail is missing here. It is not given fully. There are 2 different births. One is these 6 people. Actually, they were cursed to be killed by their own father. But the 2 births they had to take. One is they will take birth as sons of Kalanemi, correct, no? And that Kalanemi became Kamsa. Because which father will kill his own sons? He won't kill. So he became Kalanemi, became Kamsa. And these 6 fellows, they became Devakis' sons. Now Kamsa could kill them, like that. Which means these 6 children being killed is killed for a purpose. It is also according to their karma they are being killed. As soon as sons of Devaki were killed, they would return to their original place. The devotees also wanted to see this. Generally speaking, no one kills his own nephews. But Kamsa was so cruel that he did so without hesitation. Ananta, Sankarshana belongs to the second Chaturvyuha or quadruple expansion. This is the opinion of experienced commentators. Okay. Here it is more detail. Jiva Goswami is giving more detail here. See here. Some of the Yadu's relatives followed Kamsa. This means that skillfully they were able to control him. Or some devotees did this because they were waiting to see Krishna. This will be later explained, revealed by Akrura when he goes to Braja. Paripasa should be Paripasita. The 6 children who were killed were previously Devata sons of Marichi. But by offending Brahma, they became demons. You see? See, Devata sons became demons because of offense. So, offense converts a Devata into a demon. That's one lesson you learn also here. So, somebody on the divine side can come to demoniac side by committing blasphemy and offenses. So then, because they became demons now, they were born to Kalanemi, who is son of Hiranyakashipu. Now it is clear here. See, Kalanemi is who? Son of Hiranyakashipu. As his 6 sons, known as Shadagarbha. That means Hiranyakashipu's son is Kalanemi. Kalanemi's 6 sons are the Shadagarbha. And rejecting Hiranyakashipu, they began worshipping Brahma. So they didn't take the grandfather's blessing. Without taking grandfather's blessing, on one hand, they were anti-Hiranyakashipu and they were worshipping Brahma. So, angry at that, Hiranyakashipu cursed them to be killed by their father. Now it's clear now? Yeah. Remembering this incident, the Lord had Yogamaya put them in the womb of Devaki to be killed by Kamsa, who was previously their father, Kalanemi. Now it completes the truth, correct now? Kalanemi becomes Kamsa. Kalanemi's 6 sons become. See, their worshipping Brahma is correct or not? Is it correct or not? Why it's correct? Because they offended before. Now they want to worship and cancel the offense. You committed aparadh to somebody. You want to go and offer obeisance to somebody. Say, I don't go to offer obeisance to him. He is my enemy, if you say. So, Hiranyakashipu did not want them to worship. But what they did was right. So, because they did the right thing, of course they did, but they have to get punishment also for the offense. Correct, no? So, they got the punishment for the offense as being killed by Kamsa. And then that account was over now. Then they went back to their Devata position. It's clear to everybody, no? So, Kalanemi becomes Kamsa. And then Hiranyakashipu had cursed them that your father only will kill the sons, and so Kamsa only killed the 6, this thing. This is explained in Harivamsha. Later it will be said that they appeared from Hiranyakashipu, Jata, Anita. It's the same thing. To harmonize the 2 statements, the meaning should be that they were born as Kalanemi sons and Hiranyakashipu's lineage. Yeah, that is clear. This is also stated in Mahabharata, is saying. Okay. And then he's saying, Bhagavan api Vishwatma viditva kamsajam bhayam yadunam nijanathanam yogamayam samadhishat. To protect the Yadus, his personal devotees from Kamsa's attack, the personality of Godhead Vishwatma, the supreme soul of everyone, ordered Yogamaya as follows. So, here he's saying, Bhagavan api Vishwatma viditva Kamsajam Bhayam are commented upon by Sanatana Goswami. Bhagavan Swayam is Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is Vishwatma, the original super soul of everyone, because his plenary portion expands as super soul. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Akshetragyam Chapi Mam Viddhi, Sarvakshetreshu Bharata. In all the bodies, Krishna is present as super soul. Lord Krishna is Kshetragyam, or super soul of all the living entities. He is the original source of all expansions of the personality of Godhead. There are hundreds and thousands of plenary expansions of Vishnu as Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva and all. But here in this material world, the Vishwatma super soul for all living entities, Kshirodaksha Vishnu. And as stated, Ishvara, Sarvabhutanam, Hridate Ishe Arjuna Tishtati, that is super soul. Krishna is actually Vishwatma by his plenary expansion of Vishnu Tattva. Yet because of his affection for his devotees, he acted as super soul to give them directions. Sarvasya chaham hridisal nivishto mattas matirjnanam apohanam cha. That is the super soul. It comes like that. And then, the affairs of super soul pertain to Kshirodaksha Vishnu, but Krishna took compassion on Devaki, his devotee, because he understood her fear of Kamsa's persecution. A pure devotee is always fearful of material existence. See, here comes another very, very important lesson in this purport. The last purport I'll be reading, but a very important purport it is. Devaki is a pure devotee. She's fearful of Kamsa. And that is compared to a pure devotee, always fearful of Maya. Like Prabhupada was once praying to Srimati Radharani. Somebody asked, Prabhupada, what are you praying? He said, I prayed to her that I should not fall down. Please protect me. He said. So, the more advanced the devotee becomes, they are always fearful of Maya, to be cautious of Maya. Like Jadabharata you find. He is extremely cautious. Not to become carried away by Maya's allurements. Only a fool will go and stand in the railway line and say, I'm going to stop a fastly moving train. He will simply get smashed down to the chutney. So therefore, only foolish people will deal with Maya very carelessly and get roasted by her. So those who are spiritually awakened and spiritually intelligent, they will not argue. Once I heard that Narada was in heaven, Urvashi came up to him and said, "Oh, great sage, I heard that you are giving a class somewhere, some Gauranga Sabha class. In that class, you were talking about how the woman's body emanates all 9 holes are emanating foul-smelling substances. You are declaring about how horrible is woman's body. Don't you see my body has the fragrance of a lotus?" She said. Narada said, "No comments," and he ran away from there. So that goes to show how intelligent Narada was. Because they don't want to confront Maya unnecessarily. They will better be absorbed in Krishna. So, of course, Narada will teach the right knowledge at the same time. Never argue with a Mataji. Like me and Gauranga Prabhu, in those days we were in white and white before taking saffron in Chaupadi temple. So, somewhere there was a program going on in one college. They invited us to put a book table. So we went and put a book table. And the program was going on, and both were standing. So many boys and girls came to the table to purchase books. So some girls were asking us, "Hey, why you guys become brahmacharis? Why can't you marry? Is it wrong to marry?" They were saying. And we were saying, no, we are strict brahmacharis. We will not marry. We want to remain like this. Then one girl started arguing more and more. Of course, by the time the program got over, and now we had to sell the books now. Fortunately, then we told her that argument will continue later. Now we have to sell the books now, Prabhupada books. But later on, one place I read, you should not argue with a woman, because women, when there are arguments, they will pull you into their fold. Fortunately, Krishna arranged it in such a way that we had no more time to argue. Therefore, we are here now. Because if a woman argues, why should you be brahmacharis? Why can't you marry? You will end up marrying her only. You will see that with whom you argued. And some people foolishly get into arguments with a heated argument, and then woman will speak this, that, everything. They know how to twist you in this way, that way. Ultimately, they will put you in their pockets. You will see like that. So therefore, a pure devotee is always fearful of material existence. No one knows what will happen next, for one may have to change his body at any moment. Tata dehantara praptihi. And knowing this fact, a pure devotee acts in such a way that he will not have life spoiled by being obliged to accept another body and undergo the tribulations of material existence, namely birth, old age, disease, death. Correct, no? Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkha, dosha, anudarshanam. Right? Yeah. This is bhayam, or fear. Bhayam ditiyad abhiniveshitasya. This fear is due to material existence. Properly speaking, everyone should always be alert and fearful of material existence. But although everyone is prone to be affected by the ignorance of material existence, the Supreme Personal Godhead Krishna is always alert to protection of his devotees. Krishna is so kind and affectionate towards his devotees that he helps them by giving them the intelligence by which to exist in the material world without forgetting him even for a moment. So, from our side, we should be fearful of Maya. From Krishna's side, he will always offer protection from Maya also for us, for such sincere devotees. Tesham evanukampartamaham ajnanajam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavastu jnanadipena bhaswata. Out of compassion for them, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The word yoga means to link. A system of yoga is an attempt to reconnect our broken relationship with Supreme Lord. Supreme Godhead. There are different types of yoga, and Bhakti Yoga is the best. Yoginam Sarvesham Prabhupada says that. And then in the next verse, you will find, in this verse, Vishnu Chakravarti will comment about this Kamsabhayam. Gacha Devi Vrajam Bhadre Gopa Gopil Alankritam Rohini Vasudevasya Bharyaste Nanda Gokule Anyashtakam Sasambhigna Vivareshu Vasantihi. So Lord is ordering Yogamaya. Gacha Devi Vrajam Bhadre. Oh Yogamaya Devi, go to Vrindavan, which is decorated by Gopa Gopir Alankritam. It's full of Gopas and Gopis, Vrindavan. And Vasudeva's wife, Rohini, is residing there, Bharya. And she is living in the Nanda Gokulam. And also many others, Anyashcha, Kamsa Sambhigna. Due to the tormenting of Kamsa, they all have got scattered here and there, different places, like the says. In this, Devakya Jatare Garbham Sheshakyam Dhama Mamakam Tat Sannikrishya Rohinya Udare Sanniveshaya. Within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as Sankarshan or Shesha. Without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini. Of course, he is saying without difficulty. For him, there is no difficulty. But he will give her training to Yogamaya. How to do that? Because Yogamaya has no experience of transferring one womb into one child in one womb to one child in another womb. So, she agrees to do it. So by Lord's guidance, she will do that. Please read the purport.
The first plenary expansion of Krishna is Baladev, also known as Shesha. The Shesha incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead supports the entire universe. And the eternal mother of this incarnation is Mother Rohini.
See, in this world you will find you are sitting on the earth. But the earth is supported by the gravitational pull. Each planet has a gravitational pull, the scientists talk about, correct, no? Then if there are two objects, revolving objects in this universe, from their center there is a strong attraction, they say. Therefore, G, M1, M2 by R square, correct, no? You have done that. So, now ask the scientists, see, you have discovered that there is a magnetic pull from the center of every planet. Why that power exists, you ask, that they cannot tell you. They can only tell you that we have discovered that it is existing. But that pull is supplied by whom? That is Anantashesh. Anantashesh, the very meaning of the word Sankarshan means to attract. That attracting and sustaining forces in Sankarshan. He can hold innumerable universes on his hoods. So that power is supplied by that magnetic power, what do you call it, gravitational power that's supplied by Anantaya. Yes. Because
I am going into the womb of Devaki, the Lord told Yogamaya, the Shesh incarnation has already gone there and made suitable arrangements so that I may live there. Now he should enter the womb of Rohini, his eternal mother. In this connection, one may ask how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated transcendentally, could enter the womb of Devaki, which had previously been entered by the 6 asuras, the Shat Garbhas. Does this mean that the Sat Garbhasuras were equal to the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The following answer is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The entire creation, as well as its individual part, is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, even though the Lord enters the material world, he does not do so. This is explained by the Lord himself in Bhagavad
Yeah,
Gita.
actually, he does not enter. Actually, Prabhupada explains that in one of the verses, it will come later, that Krishna entered the mind of Vasudeva, and from the mind of Vasudeva, he enters the heart of Devaki. So when you talk about Garbhastuti, Krishna is not in the womb. Krishna is in the heart of Devaki. And if somebody thinks that, Krishna was put in the womb of Devaki by the sexual union of Vasudeva and Devaki, that is offense. Prabhupada says that. And nor was the Lord coming out from the womb of Devaki like a child comes out in this world. He didn't come like that. Devaki was having Krishna in her womb for 9 months, and Krishna suddenly, like that, he appeared from her. Transcendently he appeared. He did not come out like the way we all came out. So Prabhupada says, if somebody thinks he is born like a child's birth in this world, it's offensive, Prabhupada writes. It will come later. You'll see that. Because Lord actually can be inside, outside. You know that, as a child, he opened the mouth to Yashoda and showed the whole universe within him. Isn't it? And then within this universe, he showed the Vishwarupa Darshan also. So he has such abilities, he says. Yeah. That's what Prabhupada quoting, Maya Tadamidam Sarvam, he is quoting. By me in man's form, the entire universe is pervaded. So he goes on, and then here you will find, I read this one, a pure devotee.
A pure devotee is always transcendentally situated because of executing 9 different processes of Bhakti Yoga: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Thus, situated in devotional service, a devotee, although in the material world, is not in the material world. Yet, a devotee always fears, because I am associated with the material world, so many contaminations affect me. Therefore, he is always alert in fear, which gradually diminishes his material association.
Yeah, for example, from the time you rise in the morning up to the time you sleep at night, we encounter material energy in different ways. Sometimes you may physically not contaminate, but mentally you may be contaminated. You may see some sight or hear some sounds or eat something. So that may actually cause a contamination, and devotee immediately fears that, alas, my mind has become putrefied now by the bad association, correct? No? So then immediately one has to become alert, he says, in fear. And if the more you become alert in fear, it diminishes your material association, he says. That means you will go away from material association, and you will go deeper and deeper and deeper in spiritual association. Is that clear? Go ahead, symbolically.
Symbolically, Mother Devaki's constant fear of Kamsa was purifying her.
That means the more you fear the material energy, the more you get purified, he says. That means, if you keep away from temptations, we say out of sight, out of mind. One boy was telling, out of sight is correct, but out of mind is not correct, he said. Because after you go out of sight, the same things come into your mind, he said. And that is also true. When you give up physically some objects, then they enter your mind. And if you continue chanting Hare Krishna and practicing, then they go out of mind also. That's the third stage. First, only out of sight. Then they will be inside your mind. Outside objects enter into the mind. And then afterwards, when you continue practicing spiritual life seriously, then they go out of mind also. Out of sight and out of mind, then you are free from contamination. But for that, you need alertness and fear, he says. Go ahead.
A pure devotee should always fear material association, and in this way, all the asuras of material association will be killed, as the Sadgarbha asuras were killed by Kamsa.
What are the 6 asuras? See, Kama means lust, adamant desire for enjoying the prohibited things. Like Ravana is desiring to have another man's wife. That is actually lust. And anger is called temporary madness, we call it. Anger actually arises from frustrated lust. When one has wrong expectations in life and those wrong expectations are not fulfilled, then one becomes angry. Like Ravana told Maricha, I have not come here to seek any advice from you. I have come here to order you. Either you fulfill my desire or I will kill you. Neither is that. Or you die at my hands. It turned into anger because when he saw that somebody is not supporting his lust, He became angry. Same thing with Vibhishan. In Ramayana it is said, when Vibhishan was talking against Ravana in the court, that you have brought Sita, it's like tying a fire around your belly. You are going to be burned by this. It's extremely dangerous. All these other ministers who are supporting you in your nefarious act are all appearing to be your friends, but they are literally your enemies. Please understand me, I am telling for your long-term good. At that time, Ravana became so wild and angry on Vibhishan. See, my ministers are not my blood brothers, but they are my, they are supporting me. And you being a brother, he said, you are going against me. And he kicked him on his chest. Can you imagine? And he told the men, throw him out of the palace. I don't want to see his face anymore. So he dealt with him. You will see like that. So you will find that why did I give what example I gave before Ravana? His anger I said. So lust I told you, then second one anger I was telling you. So one example is Ravana becoming angry on Maricha. Another example is Ravana becoming angry on Vibhishan. Because when lust is frustrated, one becomes angry. Then third is greed. Greed means when lust is satisfied, then one becomes greedy. Like, one man went to catch a fish and he got to see one golden fish. And the golden fish was speaking also. And he went and the golden fish said, please don't catch me, I will give you whatever you wish. So the man said, I am a simple machwara, I am a simple fisherman. I actually have no other needs, but I'll check with my wife. He was a simple man. So I went to his wife and checked. She said, oh, really? He said, she said, you should ask for a big palace for us. So then the fish blessed that you'll get a palace. When he went home, the thatched hut got converted into a big palace. Then she said, if you again see that fish, you tell the fish that we want to become, the king and queen of this entire town, or entire state or something like that. So then second time we went, again the fish satisfied. And she wanted this, she wanted that, like that story goes on. Finally, she said, we want to become king and queen of the whole country. So at one point, the fish said, see, you are a good man, but your wife is a very greedy lady. She's becoming extremely greedy. And therefore, she has to learn a good lesson. He said, go and see what happens. When he went back home, he saw the same thatched hut. She was in the same hut. Because when you become extremely greedy, you lose everything. You will see that. You must have heard the story of that Lakadhara also, no? That woodcutter. Actually one woodcutter was an honest woodcutter, correct, no? When he was cutting, it slipped out of his hands and fell into water. He cried. And when Vanadevta came and said, don't worry. She took out and asked him, is this golden axe yours? He said, no, sorry, not that. He said, is this silver axe yours? No. Then she said, wooden axe, is it yours? He said, yes. She was very happy for his truthfulness and honesty. She said, take all the three with you. When he brought home, and he told his neighbor, I had only wooden axe. The goddess gave me 2 more. That man said, okay, I am going now. Next day, that fellow went. And when he was cutting, purposely he threw it in the river. And one day they came and asked, is this golden one? Yes, mine. Give me. Is silver one? That also is mine. And this wood one, yes, that. She said you are using one. Then how do you say all the 3 belong to you? And he said, sorry, I don't know what to answer. She said, you cheater. So you will lose even your wooden axe also. And then she disappeared. So he lost whatever one also he had, he lost also. Examples of greed. Correct, no? So I told you about lust, told you about anger, I told you about greed. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, and then Mada means pride. Actually, especially pride comes from opulences in this world. Then Maishwarya Shuta Shribir, Edavana, Madapuman. One becomes very Mada. Mada actually means, Madira. You know Madira means what? The Madira leads to Mada. Similarly, these 4 things lead to a person becoming like a drunken man. Like you are born in a Brahmana family, or you are very wealthy, you are very handsome, or you are very learned, you hold a big degree or something. These four things make us very proud. And we develop a desire to show off to the people as if we are very great people. And we develop some self-importance. And we want everyone and all around us to dance according to our tune and praise our glories. And we become the pivot of the world. We want everything to revolve around us and everyone to be at our beck and call. That kind of mentality comes. That's why you will find, Hiranyakashipu wants the whole world to revolve around him, correct, no? Everybody should salute him. So that kind of pride will be smashed eventually. Because God comes in this world to smash the pride of the demons and teach them good lesson. Like Indra became proud, you saw what happened to him. So that is called Mada. And Matsarya means we want what others have. If somebody is popular, I want to become popular. Somebody is praised, I want to be praised. Matsarata means inability to tolerate the other people prospering. Like Duryodhana, when he was returning, I'll just show you one verse. See, this is a section where, okay, I'll show you. Able to see, no? Yeah. See, Shakuniruvacha, he says, Duryodhana Maharaja Vivarno Harina Krishaha Dinaschinta Paraschaiva Tad Vidhi Bharatarshabha is saying, O King Duryodhana, you have become colorless, pale, thin and depressed and anxious. Like that he is saying. He is actually understand that, O King. And now Dhritarashtra is saying, Dhritarashtra Uvacha Duryodhana Kuto Moolam Vrishamar Tosi Putraka. He is asking, oh Duryodhana, for what reasons are you so afflicted, my son? He is asking, Shotavyas Chainmaya Sortho Bruhime Kurunandana. I want to know the reason. Tell me, dear one. Like that Dhritarashtra is asking. Duryodhana Uvacha. See, Duryodhana is saying, Santosho Vaishriyam Hanti. Contentment destroys prosperity, father, he is saying. Actually, we always talk about that one should be satisfied and contented. But what he says, I am a Kshatriya, Brahmana should be satisfied, but Kshatriya should be ambitious. That we should never become easily. If a Kshatriya becomes satisfied, there is no growth, there is no development, there is no prosperity. What he says is not wrong. Actually, Chanakya also says, a Brahmana should be satisfied. If a Brahmana is not satisfied, he will perish. And a Kshatriya who is satisfied will perish. He says, you understand the meaning? That means if you are not an ambitious student, you are not going to crack. In studies, you have to be very ambitious. You should aim at first rank. Then at least you will get third rank. You have to really, like yesterday I met one boy, he has cleared the UPSC. He got some 150 or 200th rank. What is his name? 23rd rank, huh? You see? 23rd rank, that boy. What's his name? Anai? I met him yesterday in the temple. So he stayed at home only and he studied very well for a couple of years and he cracked it. Now he's going to be placed as officer now. So this requires, very solid preparation, correct? No? So one should be ambitious, it's not wrong. But in the name of ambition, you should not become greedy. Now you will understand it. See, Santosho Vaishriyam Hanti Abhimanascha Bharata is saying, pride too, O king. Anukrosha Bhaye Chobhe Yairvrito Nashnute Mahat is saying, affected by compassion and fear, one never enjoys greatness. If we see that, if one is in the name of being compassionate to other people, you will fail to achieve great success in your life, he says. That means in the name of compassion, many people have lost everything, he's saying. Na mamavati tad bhuktam, whatever I have does not please me. Shriyam drishtva yudhishthire, having seen Yudhishthira's wealth. Jwalanti mipa kaunteye, he's saying Yudhishthira's wealth and splendor. Vivaranakaranī mama, it's a cause of my paleness, he's saying. Here is where he got into problem. See, for you to be ambitious, to crack exam, get this, get that is all right. But he is not desiring that. He is desiring to see somebody's leg pulled. You want to bring somebody down. That is where you all understand the difference? Being ambitious is all right, but like for example, you go to library and you hide a book in another, from this place you take it and give it another place. Why? Because that friend of mine, if he sees his book, he will get better marks than me. Huh? So I will hide it. What is that? That is envy. That is wrong. You should say that, let him read that book. I will not read the book, but I will try to get good marks. Correct, no? Yeah. Jwalanti is burning. Hmm. Na kvachiddhi maya drishtas tadrisho naiva cha shrutah yadrigdhanagamo yagne pandaputrasya dhimatah. He is saying, nowhere I have seen, nor have I heard such wealth coming in Rajsu Yajna. The Pandaputras are getting so much wealth headed by Yudhishthir. So he is saying, Tam drishtva Pandaputrasya shriyam paramikahamaham. Paramikamaham, he is saying. Having seen the tremendous wealth of Yudhishthir, he is saying, Shantim na parigachami. I am not able to find any peace now. Dahyamanena chetasa, my heart is burning, my father, he is saying. His heart is burning. What is this burning heart? Huh? That is envy, matsarata, para utkarsha sahanam. Not able to tolerate others prospering. One feels very disturbed by others prospering. Shakuni ruvacha. Now Shakuni is speaking now. Yameta muttamam lakshmim drishtavanasi pandave tasya prapta upayam me shrinu satya parakrama. The tremendous wealth what Yudhishthir is possessing now, to obtain it, my son. I have a scheme here now, O Duryodhana. What is the scheme? Aham aksheshva vignatah pritivyam api bharata hridayajnah panajnascha visheshajnascha devane. You see, I am very, very expert player of dice. If I throw it, I can get whatever number I want. If I say 6, I put it, immediately 6 will come. Huh? Whereas Yudhishthir is not an expert, but he is very fond of playing. Huh? Some people are very fond of singing. Prabhuji, can I sing Mangalarati? I tell them, Prabhuji, you are fond of singing, but we are sorry to say, we will give you Narsing Arati. No, Prabhuji, Narsing Arati is too short. Actually, some people are, similarly, I saw one devotee, he took the mridangam and moving the hand, but sound is not coming like that. Because he wants to play very attractively like the other fellows are playing, but he is not trained. You've seen some people like that. There are people like that. Therefore, I always call for expert players for the Mangalarati time. Correct, no? So this fellow is moving very, very, moving the hand in a very dramatic way, but the sound is not coming like that trained fellows mridangam. Correct, no? Similarly, Yudhishthira is not an expert player. He is fond of dice. See, Dyuta Priyashcha Kaunteyo. He is very fond of dice. Nacha Janati Devitam. But he doesn't know how to play dice. Whereas I am very great expert in playing dice, he said. So I know how to throw and how to wager and all details of the play. So I will invite, if he can be invited to come, invite him to come and play, he says. Duryodhana Vacha, he says. Ayam utsahate rajan shriyamahartumakshavit. Dyutena pandaputrasya tadanujñatum arhasi. He is saying that, O king, he is telling to Dhritarashtra now, oh my dear father, king, Shakuni is able to play expert dice to steal the wealth of Yudhishthira in a dice game and get all of it for me. So you should give him permission to play. Then it goes on like this. Now Dhritarashtra will give very good preaching to him. He will say that Vidura is my extremely wise minister. I depend on his advice. I will consult with him and I'll let you know what should be done. But what Duryodhana will say, no, father, don't consult him. He will dissuade you. If Vidura advises you, O king, and you are dissuaded, I will kill myself, he says. Marishye, aham asamshayam. I will definitely commit suicide, he is saying like that. And O king, if I die, then you can enjoy Vidura's company. He is saying, you will enjoy the entire world. What need you have for me? Like that he is saying. Papa, tum uske saath raho. Main mar jaunga. Like that he is saying. And Dhritarashtra is attached to him, correct, no? So Vaishampayana Uvacha Artavakyam tu tattasya pranayoktam nishamyasaha Dhritarashtra abravit prashyan Duryodhana matestitha. Is saying that Duryodhana's distressing comment, utterly pleadingly having heard this, Dhritarashtra spoke to his servants, influenced by Duryodhana's state of mind. Then he will naturally, Dhritarashtra will bend. He arranged for this. Now what you will, amazingly you will see, He ordered his servants to make the hall for the gambling match and everything. Later on, he will consult with her also, and he will strongly advise Duryodhana also. But I should not do this, you should not do that. What all evil effects will come, he is advising. But that is falling in deaf ears of Duryodhana. But after seeing that Duryodhana is very... One point Duryodhana said to him, what he said? He said that, father, he said that, if I become the king, don't you see the advantage that you have by that? Because you are whose father? King's father. But Yudhishthira becomes king. Who is his father? Not you. So what something clicks in your mind by this? That's what Duryodhana asked. That means Dhritarashtra also had a Rajyasukha Lobha. He also had the attachment to the kingdom and the attachment to son also. So example of greed, you see. Father is greedy, son is greedy, both got destroyed. You will see that. So last, anger, greed, pride, and matsarya, envy. This is envy. And moha. Moha means what? Considering impure thing to be pure. And considering pure thing to be impure. Considering temporary objects to be permanent. Considering permanent object to be temporary. This is called moha. That is simple. Like Chitraketu considered Harshashoka, as his own son. That is illusion. Correct, no? So he thought he should be my son for all time to come. That is the illusion. So in this world, the glitter and glamour, what you see, it appears, this is called as here today, gone tomorrow, pleasures. But when it is here today, it appears it's going to be here forever. Like I was going in the car to Vella farm. On the way, there was such greenery all over the forest. And under the bridge, the water was flowing, like a very big river and waterfalls. Very beautiful sight it is if you go in the rainy season. So I was telling Sundar Prabhu, hey, what a beauty it is. It is lushy green everywhere. It's such a lovely place. I said we should bring our boy sometimes next year here, I was telling. She said, no, Prabhu, this is only in the rainy season, it's like this. You come in the summer season, it will be completely dry. You will not find a single green grass. You will not find. Everything will be dry. So, this is an example given in the Bhagavad Gita introduction Prabhupada gives. When it rains, immediately there is a flora and fauna, everything is, blooming and colorful flowers, colorful fruits and exotic birds singing. If one goes to a forest, one will get intoxicated by the beauty. You will see that. But this is only for a season. When Patjad comes, everything is shaved completely. You seen that? Patjad season. Nothing will be there, not a single green. That is material world. Here today, gone tomorrow. You see the young boys, girls, they look like energetic people now. Walking stylishly, wearing different dress, keeping different hairstyles. One fellow is keeping hairstyle like this. You seen that? The Alexander. What all people do? All kinds of things. In IIT, one boy is wearing right side kundal. Only one kundal, only one side. All kind of... Some people keep funk. What all... some people keep this thing here. What do you call it? Like a goat, What do you call it? French beard, I think. Something. So different people stylishly keep different things, decorate their bodies with so many things, dresses. But when you grow up, ultimately everybody's body becomes, pathetic looking when they become 70, 80, nobody wants you. Taking a stick, walking like this. So that's material world. So in a young age, body looks like harabara, we say, no? Like very green. So therefore it is moha, means to be allured by glitter and glamour of this world, foolishly, not knowing the temporary nature of the material world. So these are the 6 things he is saying, Madhamatsa. Read that, the Supreme Personal Godhead.
Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in pure devotional service. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Bhaktir evanam darshati. Only bhakti can bring one in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared from the womb of Devaki, and therefore Devaki symbolically represents bhakti, and Kamsa symbolically represents material fear. When a pure devotee always fears material association, his real position of bhakti is manifested, and he naturally becomes uninterested in material enjoyment.
Actually, if you fear Maya, then you withdraw from Maya. And the more you withdraw from Maya, then you have more time for Krishna. The more you give time for Krishna, gradually Maya becomes very, what do you call it, unattractive to you. That's so to become unattracted to Maya, one should not indulge in Maya. If you indulge in Maya, it will become more and more attractive to you and make you mad. But if you withdraw from Maya and engage in Krishna, then the Maya will clearly show her color. Like for example, Lord Rama and Lakshmana were sitting, right? Shubhnaka came in a beautiful form, right? Now, first she was, flattering. I mean, she was flirting. She was flirting with Ram. Ram didn't accept her, and what she did? She went to Lakshman. They both were joking like that. But finally, when she understood they both are refusing, and her nose and ears were cut, then she showed her real colors, correct? Was that form beautiful? It was ugly. Because Ram Lakshman didn't indulge, they could see the real color of Shurnaga. You don't indulge in Maya, you will see the real color of Maya. If you indulge, you cannot see. If you indulge, you will be foolish. If you don't indulge, then you can see what Maya is up to, how pathetic Maya is. See, you can speak and practice with confidence when we don't indulge. Like Prabhupada smashed all the illusions to dust in America when he went, because the more you withdraw from Maya and don't indulge, then you can see Maya is incapable of giving me pleasure. She is a cheater. Krishna can give me real happiness. Correct now? Sita can give Ram the real happiness, not Shurpanaka. So, just as Ram has accepted Ekapatni, but Sita only, he rejected Shurpanaka. Then, by rejecting Maya's allurements, then you can see Maya's allurements to be useless. You can see that. That's what he is saying. You can see that, you will see, that's what he is saying that, where is that point? Read that again.
Symbolically represents material fear. When a pure devotee always fears material association, his real position of bhakti is manifested and he naturally becomes uninterested in material enjoyment.
Then we become uninterested in material enjoyment. Yes, go ahead.
When the 6 sons of Marichi are killed by such fear and one is freed from material contamination, within the womb of bhakti, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears. Thus, the 7th pregnancy of Devaki signifies the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
See, one thing happens whenever Kamsa came to pick up the child and kill the child. Did Devaki voluntarily, happily give him the child? No. She was very hesitant. That clearly shows that in our heart, 2 things are residing. Bhakti for Krishna is residing, and the 6 anarthas are residing. Although we all know that the 6 anarthas should be given up, we are not ready to give them up. So we are holding on to those 6 children. No, my child, we want to hold. Although we may say, oh Lord, please remove my anarthas. And Lord arranges for somebody to come and remove the anarthas. We are very afraid to give them up, correct? No? This reminds me, in my office once I told my assistant, the office has become spoiled now, my room, not office, my room. So many books kept here on the table, papers are littered and dust is around. So my assistant came and he was picking up a bunch of books. He said, hey, don't touch that. Because, I have kept them. I'm going to refer them tomorrow, I said. Then he said, Prabhuji, can I take those papers? Hey, those papers I have to sign and all. I would let that be on the table only. Then whatever he picked up, I told him not to touch. Because some I have kept here, some I kept here, some I have kept here. Whole room was filled with so many things. So then he said, Prabhuji, you told me to clean, but I don't know which one to clean now. Because none of it you are allowing me to touch. And then I realized that this is what the conditioned soul does. He doesn't allow Krishna to touch anything and remove anything. He wants all the 6 babies with himself only. That means if you want the Kama, Krodha, Madhula, Moha, Matsarya with yourself, along with bhakti, can it flourish? That means Devaki should be willing to give Kamsa or not. She should be willing to give those children. Don't fear that the children will be killed. They have to be killed. Don't fear about the death of the anarthas. Actually, you are not going to be destroyed. Your anarthas are going to be destroyed. So there is nothing to fear. It is good only. So just like, for example, morning we all know we have to get up for the Mangalarati, but when you are lying in the bed with a covered blanket, sometimes the alarm rings, you look out to the window and it is heavily raining in the morning. And it is a foggy morning. Foggy? Smoke everywhere. And then you look around, all the other devotees are sleeping. Then you also cover yourself. Although it is 4 o'clock, because your mind tells you, taking bath takes only 10 minutes. I can manage. Correct, no? So you get pleasure or not? You get pleasure. But what is the pleasure called? Tamoguni pleasure. Correct, no? But if you throw away the blanket, get up and take a bath and wear a fresh dhoti, tilak and come to the Mangalarti, you get another pleasure. What is that pleasure? Sattvic pleasure, yeah. So we should derive sattvic pleasure or tamoguni pleasure. So it requires some effort, determination to do that. So we need a determination on one hand and also not be attached to keeping the anarthas with ourselves. We should be willing to forego the anarthas. Because when anarthas are gone, then nishtha will be born. After anartha nivritti comes nishtha, correct, no? Yeah. Yes.
After the 6 sons, Kama, Krodha, Lobh, Moh, Mad and Matsarya are killed, the Shesha incarnation creates a suitable situation for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, he cleans up the womb so that there is no more anartha, no more impurity there. Then he puts the Ananta Shesh, which is a part incarnation of Baladev, and the full incarnation of Baladev goes to Rohini's womb. Yeah.
In other words, when one awakens his natural Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna appears. This is the explanation given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Yeah. I read further.
Mamakam Dham means the Baladev is my Amsha. Shesh is his portion. This is shown in his verses such as Srimad Bhagavatam 10.65.28. Yasya Kamashena Vidartad Jagati Jagata Pate. O Master of the Universe, Ram, by one of your parts you hold up the earth. Though Rohini is the eternal mother of Balaram, because of my request he appeared in Devakis' womb first. After establishing Shesh, his Amsh there as my bed and seat, he desired to go to the womb of his own mother. How is it possible that the first 6 material children could appear in the womb of Devaki, who is the pure spiritual energy of the pure Lord? Just as the material universes exist within the Supreme Lord but do not contaminate the Lord, so the 6 children could exist within Devaki without contaminating her.
Understand, no? Correct, no? So they are existing. Actually, bhakti and anarthas both are residing in the heart of the devotee in the conditioned stage. But as we advance, the unwanted contamination will be removed. So therefore, he says very interesting point here. Read this on the conjunction.
The conjunction of material and spiritual in the past times is there to illustrate the methodical nature of bhakti. While devotees perform sadhana bhakti in the form of hearing and chanting internally, there exists material enjoyment of the 6 objects of the senses: sound, touch, form, taste, smell and thought as well, which is secondary effect of bhakti. The devotee then cries out pitifully, "Oh, because of this enjoyment, I will fall into the material well of darkness." By manifesting fear of material enjoyment, gradually the tendency to enjoy matter subsides. Then bhakti
Like sing the song, no? No. Gopinath. Mama, you say, no? Gopinath, Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Shuno, Mama Nivedana Shuno. Gopinath, Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Shuno, Mama Nivedana Shuno. Vishayi Durjana Sada Kamarata, Vishayi Durjana Sada Kamarata, Kichu nahi mora guna, Kichu nahi mora guna, Kichu nahi mora guna, Kichu nahi mora guna. It's a very, very beautiful song, the Gopinath song. So he's saying, Sada Kamarata, Vishayi Durjana, Sada Kamarata. I am a lusty rogue, always absorbed in this kind of dirty thoughts. Please purify my heart. So this kind of, when the devotees cry and they pray, and the devotees express a fear, Krishna, Krishna appears, I am going to slip and I am going to go to hell. Please pick me up. He says, what is that? Naruttama dase koi, nataliho rangapoi, tomavina ke ache, amara. That's a beautiful song also. So at that time, what happens? By manifesting the fear of material enjoyment, gradually the tendency to enjoy matter subsides. And the magnitude reduces, and it subsides. A stage comes in Nishtha onwards. When you go to the Ruchi stage, it is like you are completely relieved from a chasing dog. Imagine a bulldog is chasing you. How fearful you will be. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Loba, Moha, Machri, they are all chasing behind you. And you are running, they are running behind you. At one point of time, when Nishtha comes, then you turn around and see, and the dog ran into another lane instead of running after you. So you are relieved like that. Big relief it is. It's like a person is relieved from the dog. Then after that, you can peacefully chant the holy name, and then the chase is finished. Tadarajas tamo bhava kamaloba adeschaye chetayeta ranaviddam sthitam satve prasiddhati. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vijnana mukta sangha se jayate, he says. So you become mukta sangha. Mukta sangha means rajoguna tamoguna is gone now. Then nishtha bhakti comes. Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Yeah, go ahead.
And bhakti in the form of hearing and chanting the names and glorifying the forms, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord and serving in various ways becomes prominent. Finally, the Lord Himself, the ocean of all wonderful forms and qualities, appears within the devotee. Bhakti is Shuddha Sattva by nature and directly manifests the Lord. The Shruti says, Bhaktir evanam darashyati. Devotion makes the Lord reveal Himself. As it is said that Marichi appears from the mind, he can be considered the incarnation of the mind. His six children.
So this already we covered it, this portion. But one or two special words will be used here, which I want to show you. I read the just as prema.
Just as prema, characterized by intense service to the Lord, necessarily appears in the womb of bhakti after the desire for sense objects is extinguished.
See, when the desire for sense object is extinguished from the heart, then only bhakti fully appears in the womb. So that's the main point. Yes.
So Ananta, the form of service to the Lord, appeared as the seventh child of Devaki. Just as the Lord Himself appears after Prema Bhakti appears, so Bhagwan Himself appears as the eighth child of Devaki after Shesh appears.
Right. You see, it's a very amazing sequence of steps that follows. Devaki is actually Bhakti Devi. So in the heart of the Bhakti, while practicing Bhakti, you will see that there are 6 anarthas. When 6 anarthas are finished, that means the propensity for independently enjoying is finished. Then Shesha comes and cleanses the place. And then he puts a seat. And his heart is filled with prema for the Lord. Right? No? So he can lovingly invite the Lord. Therefore, even all of us in ISKCON, whenever we build any temple, first thing we have Bhumi Puja. And in Bhumi, what do we put inside? Shesh we put. For 2 reasons. Because when Shesh comes, he can invite the Lord to come. Because if he invites, Lord cannot say no, he will come. And another purpose of putting Shesh is a Bhudharana Shakti. He has that gravitational Shakti he can offer to all the planets which I told you. He can carry millions of universes. So he is going to hold the temple. Therefore, that is a symbol. We put Anant Shesh under the ground. We put like that. Here also, Ananta appears first, and then, because Lord Vishnu he can't lie in the milk ocean directly. He needs the Ananta Shesha. So Lord Ananta Shesh comes, which is representing the Guru's appearance. And then Guru can invite Krishna to come. Correct, no? So, actually, somebody may ask a question, Guru comes after 6 anarthas are gone. How can we remove 6 anarthas without the help of Guru, you may ask. Therefore, Prabhupada says, Vasudev is Guru, Devaki is Shishya. And Vasudev, from Vasudev's mind, Krishna went from his mind to Devaki's heart. That is like Diksha, Prabhupada says. Devaki became extremely beautiful, like that. So, with Guru's guidance, the Jiva only has to remove these 6 impurities. Guru will not remove. We have to remove it. But Guru will give us guidance. Like Guru has given you 4 regulative principles. That who will follow? Guru will follow, you will follow. Guru is already following for himself. We have to follow for ourselves. By going back to Godhead, we have to surrender. So therefore, Prabhupada condemned these Christians saying that, Jesus has taken away our sins. So you go on, now you can go on committing sins, he will take care. That's not acceptable. Prabhupada said, you will do sin, why should he suffer? You only have to suffer. Prabhupada says that. So therefore, you can't blame the Guru. So Guru will give you guidance and you have to remove the 6 anarthas. And then after the 6 anarthas are removed, then Guru comes and cleanses the heart, ultra pure he makes it. So that Krishna, when he welcomes Krishna, just like we want to establish a deity in Pune, Radheshyamdasdevotionalvideos, we cannot welcome ourselves. But we invite pure devotee Vaishnava Acharyas, they come and welcome. And they welcome the Lord. Therefore, what they did, even they feel, even we cannot welcome. Therefore, they put Ananchesh in the Bhumi Puja time. And then they are welcoming the Lord. So they are welcoming, Ananchesh is welcoming. Then the Lord appeared as Radhavandavachandra. He appeared. So in that way, this is the way, it's a methodical nature of bhakti. Shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, then anartha then nishta, then ruchi and bhava prema. It's gradual. Anartha has to take place, then the nishta and ruchi, everything will come. So like that he says. So this is the main lesson that I wanted to highlight today about the Shadgarbhas. So in essence, 2 very important things we discussed today. One was about divine and the other one demoniac. Kamsa and his followers are all demoniac. Narada and his followers are all divine. You can see that these 2 forces are there in this world, and we want to be on the side of divine, but the nature of material world is that you have a material body and your spirit soul. So in order to balance the needs of the body and the soul, one should live life in such a way that antare nishtha, bahari vyavahar. Manage your business externally, meditate on Krishna internally. So this is the balance. So this was first part I was speaking. And the second part we talked about Devakis Bhakti Devi. And in her Garbha were residing there 6 anarthas. Similarly, we all want to be devotees, but we also have the 6 anarthas. And these children, the history of these children, we said also. Now what happens later on, one last point, after Krishna Balram kills Kamsa and everything, Devaki expresses a desire to see those 6 children because she could not give them even milk also. As soon as they were born, Kamsa came and killed them. Krishna tells his mother not to worry, I'll get them. So Krishna Balram arranged for those 6 children to come now. Again, come back to life. And Devaki is feeding them milk, all of them. But this milk is special milk because this milk she fed them after feeding Krishna. So it's called what milk? Mahaprasad milk. So these 6 children, they drank Mahaprasad milk, they became divine again. Because they were divine, they had become demoniac. Now the demoniac children became divine. Similarly, how do we do that? Kama Krishna karma arpane, krodha bhakta deshi jane, lobha sadhu sange harikata, moha ishtalabha vine, mada Krishna guna gane, niyukta karibe yata yata. That is here he says, Kama, when the Kama child drinks the milk, he becomes Krishna karma arpane. Now he will engage his passion in Krishna service. And Krodha, what he will do? Bhakta dveshi jane. Lobha, sadhu sange harikata. And moha ishtalabha vine. Mada Krishna Gunagane, like that, yeah. So Niyukta Kariva means all these 6 so-called anarthas can be engaged in Krishna service. They can be, when we're in the purified state, they can be engaged in Krishna service. In an impure state, they are very degrading. Correct, no? So it's very auspicious to discuss this subject in the occasion of Janmashtami, festival which is fast approaching. Therefore, I discuss this. The beauty of this subject is, it is Krishna Katha, at the same time it also helps us to rise above Maya's push and pull. Correct, no? Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.